Why is it so hard to breathe when you are learning to swim? I'm going to break it down, answer the top questions that my clients ask me on why it's so hard. I'm Katrice Rodriguez. I have been teaching swimming as a swimming tutor for 30 years now. I was a competitive swimmer. So in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why it's so hard, techniques on how you can learn to breathe for swimming. Breathing is the main thing that people come to me and they ask, why is it so hard for me to get the hang of my breathing in the water while I am swimming? So let me break it down to you. Breathing has two jobs. One job is to keep you buoyant. So when you breathe properly, when you breathe with control and calmly, you fill your lungs up and that keeps you buoyant. If you take small, shallow breaths, you're not filling your lungs up, and then that is not going to help to keep you float, help to keep you buoyant. Another thing that it does is it helps you to keep going. Now, if you think about it, you were born knowing how to breathe. It's an involuntary movement. We never had to learn how to breathe, but when you learn how to swim, you actually have to learn how to breathe again, because you have to learn to breathe differently, and it's called aquatic breathing. And there's a really good reason why we need to learn to do it. Now, a lot of people come to me and say, oh well, I've never been taught to swim with my face in, I've never swum with my face in, I've always been taught to swim with my face up. And that's how swimming used to be taught. But let me tell you something, that if you don't swim with your face in and you swim with your head up, you've got lots of water resistance pushing against you. You are wasting your energy. If you keep your head up, your legs will sink. More resistance, harder to swim. So people are always asking me, how do I get a hang of my breathing? I want to swim, I can swim the technique, but I can only get so far, and then I get out of breath and have to stop. So what you have to do is learn to control your breath and breathe while you're swimming. So what we do is we exhale under the water with our face in, and then we lift our head up or we roll our face to the side to then breathe in, so that we can keep swimming continuously. That's called aquatic breathing. So when we can learn to do that with control, we can swim further, we can swim longer, and we can swim with less effort and swim faster and more efficiently. So then you're not going to get out of breath, because you're going to swim a lot more efficiently and you're going to be able to keep going. Other people come to me and say, I really cannot put my face in the water. How do I do it? I really hate it. And there's a secret to it as well, and that's goggles, particularly if you wear glasses. There's prescription goggles these days, and I will go into more about that on my Breathing for Swimming webinar, more about that coming up. Another reason why breathing feels so hard in the water when you're learning to swim is that a lot of people are trying to either swim and hold their breath. Now let's face it, you're not going to get much exercise done or last for very long if you try and hold your breath. I know the top sprinters in swimming do, and I can sprint one length not breathing, but that's as far as I'm going to get, not for very long. It's not comfortable either long term. So another reason why it is hard is that also people are trying to breathe in and out when they lift their head up or roll to the side to try and breathe. And there's not time for that, and it just makes it harder because you're having to rush your breathing, shallow breathing, and again, that's not ideal. We want to be able to breathe regularly, and we want to be able to breathe as normally as we can to keep going, to be able to keep moving with as least effort as we can. That's when your technique comes in. But if you can keep the breathing regularly and breathing properly, that's when you'll be able to travel better. So that's what we need to do. And that's one reason why it's so hard. People also ask me why it's so hard when they get into panic mode and what's actually happening with the breathing. So when you start breathing out of control and you're not thinking about it, then you're in a state where you are in a panic mode, flight, fright, or freeze, and that is something that your body has learnt to do automatically. So there's nothing wrong with you if you look at water, think about water, or think about the deep water and start panicking and your breathing gets out of control. That is your brain keeping you safe, not happy. That's what your brain is designed to do. So it's like as if we lived in the cave still. That's what our brains needed to do to keep us safe from the immediate dangers, like a big body of water or a tiger, for example. But nowadays, we don't need to have that mechanism when we go around water, really, in this day and age. Particularly if you're in a controlled environment with a qualified, experienced swim teacher or tutor, where you've got lifeguards, and you are in a learning environment. There isn't the actual physical need for your brain to go into panic mode, but of course it may well do that. The thought of even putting your face in the water and thinking about breathing, because you're in panic mode, this is just what's happening. So how we learn to deal with that is we just focus on being present. And when my tribe members take part in the Water Warrior Workshop, one of the things I teach the tribe members is lots of different tools to help them for if they get into that panic mode, or to control their breathing and their state and be calm, or to get rid of the adrenaline and get pumped up and energized, ready to go into the water or ready to face whatever it is you need to face. But controlling your breathing and being in the present is one of the things we do. So if you get into any panic mode, wherever you are, not just talking about swimming, if you can control and just focus on the breath, focus on it in and focus on it out, a longer out breath, focus on in breathing, big breath, and then an out breath longer. If you can just focus on that instead of the thing that you were focusing on that was making you spiral, that is really, really going to help you. And there's several different techniques that I teach on the Water Warrior Workshop, but I'm also going to be teaching during my Breathing for Swimming webinar. So more details about that very soon. So another question that I got was, why do I always run out of breath? And I kind of covered this already. But what's happening is you are not breathing in a relaxed state where you can just keep breathing normally and keep moving your arms and legs for your stroke. Also because we're swimming with our face in the water looking down. So your face, your nose, your mouth are fully submerged. So what we have to do is we have to learn how to rotate to the side to be able to breathe. Now, our face and our mouth are very close to the water when we do this. And sometimes there's a splash and there's a movement of you going up and down in the water, where what happens is when you do breathe in, you end up inhaling some water, and that can put people off, particularly children. So then they don't want to do it again. And the competitive swimmers, when you swim competitively, they actually roll on their side and they only have half their mouth out the water and they breathe out the side of their mouth. They don't actually turn their whole face out the water and breathe out the whole of their mouth, which is completely possible, but you obviously have to learn how to do this. So it's about being comfortable, being at ease, and being able to control your whole body, being present. So the more you can kind of practice, the more water confidence. Every time you get in the water, I suggest you practice. Now, in my Breathing for Swimming webinar, I will show you how you can practice from home, from the comfort of your own home. I will take you through my 10 steps on how to learn how to breathe, how to get over your breathing stresses and anxieties, and also right from the beginning of putting your face in the water and getting your face wet. I'll teach you tips on how you can also help little ones and the young ones do this. So wherever you are in your swimming journey, whether you are still trying to get the hang of putting your face in the water, your nose, your eyes and your mouth and just breathing, or whether you can put your face in the water no problem and you can swim, but you want to be able to breathe properly so you can swim for longer. Wherever you are in your journey, the Breathing for Swimming webinar is for you. It's a free webinar. If you want to get the link to register for free, then either comment or DM me Bubbles and I will send you the link, or you can visit swimfearless.co.uk, Breathing for Swimming. I will see you there.